Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm glad to have you here. So, what exactly is Laravel? Laravel is a framework written in PHP. PHP is one of the most popular web development languages the world has ever seen. Though PHP has been insulted a lot of times, but then I think it's still very, very good because with PHP 8.1, 8.2, and coming of Laravel, it's really made it very easy to use and it's open source. So it means that it's coming from a community of people that have decided to contribute their time to develop it. And it's an MVC, MVC meaning model view controller. We're going to see what model view controller actually means in some few slides to come. And it's a web framework that can be used to build high-end web applications. And it was developed by Taylor Odwell. Shout out to Taylor Odwell. He has done an amazing job, him and his team, in building this framework that has been able to help millions of developers build good products and also put food on the table. And it was released in June 2011. So it's pretty been around for a long time and it has had a lot of community engagements. So we're going to look at the next thing. Why Laravel? So we're going to look at why do you want to use Laravel into your development. And one of the first reasons is the MVC architecture, the model view controller. So the thing about the model view controller is around separation of concern. So if you look at the chart or the graphic on your right, you will see that the user interacts with the view. So the user interacts with the view. So the view is what the user sees. The view is the form. The view is the HTML page. And when the user makes a request from the form, maybe the user clicks on a button, it sends a request to the controller, right? And from the controller now, the controller will determine what has to be done. Maybe the controller has to pull data from the database. If the controller has to pull data from the database, then it has to ask the model to provide that data. So the model is the one that goes now directly to the database and gets that data and then returns the data to the controller. And once the controller has done all of the business logic, it sends the data back to the view by rendering an HTML file. So in this case, you can write the view separately, how beautiful, how well structured your application looks like. And the controller is serving as the business logic and the model is serving as the database layer. So we have the view is the beautiful part. The controller is the one that does all of the heavy lifting and the model is the one that gets to the database to pull data. And the second thing about why we should use Laravel is Laravel has inbuilt authentication and authorization. So you don't need to go and start writing code on how to log in a user, log out a user, register a user, verify email, password reset. It ships out of the box, right? So when you install Laravel in your when you create a new Laravel project, you can just run a few commands, one command actually, and it is going to give you access to all of these authentication features so that you don't need to stress rewriting things that have already been written. And the beautiful thing is this has been written with industry standards and it's very secure. So you don't need to go to that. So the third thing we're going to look at is Laravel has a huge community support with multiple packages. There are lots of things that you may want to do and you don't have to go and code it from scratch. There are multiple packages because it's open source and these packages are built with high level of security because thousands and millions of people or thousands and millions of projects currently use this. So, and it makes your development faster rather than you to go and spend 3 days, 4 days, 8 hours, 16 hours, 2 sprint points, 4 sprint points to build a package, for example, for capture. If to build a package, for example, for search engine optimization, to build a package to interact with Facebook to do Google authentication, Laravel has a lot of things available for you. So you don't need to build everything again from scratch. The fourth point is why you should use Laravel is Laravel has the Artisan CLI and it helps you to generate files easily and reduce the coding time. So rather than you going to create a file and start giving the boilerplate of the file, Laravel CLI, that's Artisan Command Line Interface Tool, helps you to create files like it helps you to create models, it helps you to create controllers, it even helps you to create mails. In that way, there is a structure of your file that you can follow and the conventions can be respected. So with that, Laravel ships out of the box with that. The next part, which is number 5, why you should use Laravel, or why we should take in Laravel is the Eloquent ORM. For those that are familiar with writing SQL queries, sometimes it's really a pain to write good SQL queries. But with Laravel, you use object-oriented concepts easily to interact with your database. So this is a bye-bye to raw SQL. Raw SQL is a thing of the past. Yes, you can still write raw SQL in Laravel, but it gives you the ability to use object-oriented concepts like classes, like objects, like methods, inheritance to be able to interact with your database without writing those raw SQLs. It's amazing. I'm sure we're going to enjoy it when we get to that point. Next part on why you should learn Laravel. Laravel has its very flexible and easily integration with multiple front end. You may be coming from a Vue background. You may be coming from a, sorry about that spelling, Vue. It's supposed to be VUE, not VUEW. You may be coming from a React background. You may be coming from a Next background, thinking that, oh, can I integrate my front end with this? Yes, very, very absolutely, you can integrate your front. So you choose what you love and you work with it. So if you want your front end to be in Vue, by all means, go for it. If you want your front end to be in React, by all means, go for it. So it gives you a wide variety of front ends to choose from, so you are not stuck with one thing. And on the seventh thing, why you should learn Laravel is Laravel has task scheduling and it has the best queuing systems. So if you have periodic tasks that you want to do, maybe you say at the end of every day, you should check the list of clients that have added to cart, but they have not checked out, and remind them that, hey, it's time for you to check out, right? You can schedule a job to run at a particular time. So if you look at it on the right side, you will see this part that says this is how you can schedule a job to tell the system that every day at 6 a.m., right, daily at 6 a.m., send a reminder to clients to check out, right? Maybe another job could be every time at 1 a.m., clean inactive users. Maybe you have people that have been writing, doing stuff on your system, and you want to clear them off. So you can program tasks which will run automatically when you're not there using the task scheduling and queuing system, and it drastically improves on response time. And also maybe you have heavy tasks that you want to do. Maybe if a user registers, you have to send some particular number of emails or do a particular check that may take 3, 4, 5 seconds. You may just queue that in the background and continue with the task so that when the system becomes less busy, then it can actually execute that task. And on number 8, we're getting very close to the end. Why you should learn Laravel. Laravel gives you ability to easily write automated and unit tests. Testing is so important in today's world. For those that follow the TDD approach, test-driven development is very important, because as you build and go in front, there are things you may do that may totally break your code, right? So it's important for you to write tests for your code, and Laravel ships with PHP unit, and you can also use PEST. For those that are familiar from the JavaScript background of Jest, very similar to PEST. So you can use PEST to write tests, and it ensures your code doesn't break. So don't trust your code, right? Don't always trust your code, especially if you're working in a team. Let your unit tests and integration tests run for you. And the last point, I think should be last point, is beautiful documentation. Laravel has one of the most easy and well-written documentation, and it covers almost, if not everything. And it has a low barrier of entry, and the documentation is updated almost always with the new things that are being done. So you don't need a documentation to read the documentation. You know, there are some programming languages and frameworks and technologies that you may need a documentation to read the documentation, but with Laravel, you don't have that problem. You just go there. It has a very easy search powered by Argolia, and you can search it very easily and find what you need. So those are 9 reasons why you should use Laravel, why you should learn Laravel. And where you can get help, you can go to the official website laravel.com. It has the documentation there. You can also go to GitHub, github.com/laravel/laravel. You have every detail there. You can also go to Laracast. Laracast is a paid site. You may also want to go there and get a subscription, but they have free content that is available to the public. If you go to X, as formerly Twitter. There's a huge community on X that you could ask your questions there. You could join the Laravel channels and you could have good answers. And very importantly, good old Google. Good old Google doesn't disappoint. You can always ask Google for some help. Go to Stack Overflow or ask ChatGPT. Though I would not recommend you using a lot of ChatGPT as a beginner because it will reduce your ability to retain core concepts. So our learning goals for this is we're going to be doing the following. We're going to see how we can set up Laravel. We're going to see how we can access Laravel apps on the browser. We're going to look at how you can navigate between pages when you're on a Laravel application. We're going to also look at how you can pull and insert data from and to the database. We're going to see how you can send emails using Laravel, and we're going to look at how you can schedule heavy tasks to run when the system is less busy. So those are the learning goals for this particular course. And what is a success for us? You know, it's important for you to know what is success for you and what is a success for us. At the end of this tutorial, right, we must have built a basic school system where staffs will be able to manage students' records, assign students to courses, input marks, and generate report card. This may not be very simple, yeah, may not be very basic, but this handles everything that has to do with a particular framework, like inserting data, sending emails, scheduling jobs, and all of those. So we're going to be building a basic school system with staffs being able to manage student records, assign students to courses, input marks, and generate report. I'm sure you're going to love this system. So I've been talking a lot about Laravel. So about myself, my name is Fongo Martin again. I am a software engineer and over 10 years, over a decade of experience in software development. And also an entrepreneur, found a couple of ventures. And for programming languages, frameworks, and technologies, I use Laravel on my day-to-day, React Native, Vue.js. And I'm also a product and a project manager. And I have some skills also in DevOps, especially AWS, to enable me go through. So again, thank you very much for jumping onto this course. I hope that you have been able to understand some of the things that we're going to do, and hopefully this gets to be an exciting experience. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel so you don't forget when notifications are posted, and immediately we post the next videos, you get notified. Thank you, and see you at the next video. Excited to get started? Yeah, I am excited too. If you're loving the content so far, what we have discussed so far, please do well to subscribe to this channel and click on the notification icon and like, and also share so that you don't miss out on the course content when it's released here on YouTube and other social media platforms. Let's get to business, guys. Let's get to business. Thank you.